A Pakistani diplomat has called for urgent global action to intercept the illicit flow of advanced weapons supporting UN-sanctioned armed groups like the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan (TTP) and the Baloch Liberation Army (BLA), which use Afghanistan as a safe haven to launch cross-border attacks into Pakistan. Speaking at a UN Security Council Area Formula meeting, Syed Atif Raza, counselor at Pakistan's UN mission, stated that these terrorist groups are armed with billions of dollars worth of illicit weapons abandoned in Afghanistan.
I also thank briefers for their useful presentations. The misuse and illicit flow of small arms and light weapons has a direct impact on aggravating conflicts, threatening socio-economic progress, and subverting the prospects of peace and security, particularly at the regional and sub-regional levels. The evolving nature of warfare and the advent of new technologies pose new challenges to combat the proliferation of increasingly lethal small arms, for example UAVs, 3D printed small arms, and night vision gear. Criminal groups and terrorists are increasingly leveraging technologies such as cryptocurrency for anonymous transactions and using dark web to evade detection. At the same time, new technologies also offer more tools for law enforcement to disrupt criminal and terrorist elements. Mr. Chair, small arms and light weapons have become instruments of choice for state and non-state actors to destabilize any country or region through fueling conflict and support to illegal armed groups, organized crime, and terrorism. These concerns are further compounded with increasing sophistication of illicit arms and access to modernized weapons at the disposal of illegal armed groups, often operating across national boundaries. We know that non-state actors do not have many of the capabilities to manufacture advanced illicit arms, thus raising questions of culpability of certain state actors in these nefarious activities. Pakistan is concerned at the acquisition and use of modern and sophisticated illicit arms by terrorist groups such as Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, a UN-listed terrorist organization which operates with impunity from Afghanistan, as well as the so-called Baloch Liberation Army and Majid Brigade. Terrorist armed groups are in possession of billions worth of illicit arms abandoned in Afghanistan, which are being used in violence against civilians and armed forces of our country. These terrorist entities also receive external support and financing from our principal adversary. We call upon our international partners to recover the vast stockpile of abandoned weapons, prevent their access to armed terrorist groups, and take measures to close this thriving black market of illicit arms. As suggested in the concept note for this meeting, concerted efforts are required to intercept illicit flows that support UN-sanctioned armed groups. Mr. Chair, we believe that the issue of illicit arms and light weapons should be addressed holistically and in a balanced manner. The UN Programme of Action strikes a careful balance between the legitimate security needs of states with the imperatives to address the issue of illicit arms both on supply and demand sides. We call for its full implementation to preserve and promote international and regional peace and security. I thank you, Ms.
He emphasized that these arms are being used by TTP and BLA militants in violent attacks against Pakistani civilians and security forces. Raza also pointed to external support for these groups, specifically citing India, and urged international partners to take measures to recover and restrict access to these weapons, thereby closing the black market for illicit arms. He raised concerns over the increasing sophistication of such weapons, which are often used by non-state actors to further destabilize regions. Pakistan's strained relationship with Afghanistan has been exacerbated by border skirmishes and Islamabad's repeated calls for action against the TTP, which Kabul has denied. Earlier this year, Pakistan's UN ambassador Munir Akram criticized Afghanistan's failure to address the terrorist threat posed by groups operating within its borders.